to my E3 2019, I would say final thoughts, but I'll just say some of my personal favorites and favorite moments, favorite announcements and games here. And all the games that I have, I just went through every conference that I basically covered. I guess, what, 7 different conferences or whatever, depends on what you watched. Most you probably would have skipped and probably watched all of the conferences for this year. But you're probably looking for a particular conference, like Sony, for example, that was missing. I'm wearing one of the missing games that was most people were looking for from Nintendo's press conference, Metroid Prime 4, which has to be redeveloped from the ground up. And unfortunately, it wasn't even at the show. No news about it or anything. But we already know behind the scenes it had to be just redone. But I'm gonna just share with you guys some of my favorite games and just talk about my thoughts of this year's E3. And of course, some of you guys that's probably going to be watching this sometime today, you guys probably didn't even watch too much of E3 and probably didn't enjoy it as much. And I gotta agree, it's not even that. It's still, for me, I'm going to say this. I have quite a few games that I'm excited for. It's a lot of good games coming out this year into the next year for 2020. 2020 is going to be packed. Even if it's not that many games that you're probably excited to play this year, you're going to love lots of different games, especially the first quarter of 2020 that's looking really good between, I would say, March and April, and especially the springtime of next year. Next year's just looking packed with all these different titles. So I'm just going to go through them. I'm not going to have their release dates or anything like that. I just have their names because I went through every little conferences and just personally picked some games that I really like. So I'm just going to get started. And my list is going to be shared in the description of this video. You guys can share your list in the comments. Some of your favorite games, your highlights, just your overall E3 thoughts of what you guys, whatever you watch. It doesn't matter which conference you like the best. And whatever. I'm not picking any winners. It's just the fact that it's the games. It's all about the games. The fact that we have at least some kind of new games that's coming out, even if Sony wasn't there, which is very different. So I can definitely say it's not, this year's E3 2019 does not hold a candle to any of the past E3s that we had, because we always had Sony. We always had like stage performances and stage presentations and stuff like that. It's a lot different now. And remember, I've been watching it since it was aired on Spike TV, when it was aired on live cable. But that's not it. Now it's just, it changed. There's a lot of different changes now. But it was still, even after it was taken off the air, it still managed to be like a good show. And it didn't stop me from watching the conferences or anything like that. Now that they're live streamed and you can just either go there yourself. So I'm going to share with you guys my games and just to go in order. But I just had to throw this one out here just to start. Shenmue 3. I recently started playing this game, and I got the collection, and I played through the first and second one. Very late compared to everyone else. I had a Dreamcast. I used to have a Dreamcast, but for me, I was one of the unfortunate ones who had the system lock up, and it was asking for like a mysterious password. It was like hundreds of thousands of other consoles that was doing the same thing. I never decided to get another one, another Dreamcast, because it was just tripping out. So the only games I really had to play on it was just to share with you guys, just talking in this vlog. I was only playing Sonic Adventure. I was playing the first Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, some of the greatest Sonic games I ever played still to this day. And then I had House of the Dead and Power Stone. I didn't have any other Dreamcast games. But now just seeing that Shenmue, getting to experience Shenmue, the collection on PlayStation 4, playing it through, I'm really excited for Shenmue 3 coming out later this year. And it was pushed back. It was originally supposed to come out sometime within the next few months, but it's been pushed back to later on in the year, which I'm completely fine with. So I'm going to be excited to play that for sure. And just the long-awaited journey just to finally get at Land D and just get his revenge and all that. I think this is one of my top. I think if I had to pick a top 3, this is definitely one of my top 3 games. I can definitely say top favorites, all-time favorites that I've seen for this announcement for this year, Shenmue 3. And if you guys haven't played it, I definitely recommend it. So let's get through the list. So just to share some thoughts, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Even though I haven't played much of the Star Wars games, I really like it. I really like this game. This looks pretty good, and I think this is the Star Wars game I want to really get into, even though I didn't play much of the games. I just been watching the movies. Being a horror fan, for example, Blair Witch that was shown during the Microsoft press conference. Who saw that coming? If you ever seen Blair Witch, the Blair Witch Project, before it's two different movies, the old school movies. I really like this, and this is one of my favorite horror movies that I ever seen, Blair Witch. And at first I thought it was Outlast, just like I was saying before when I first seen it. I initially thought this was Outlast 3 or something like that. It looked like it played with it with the it played like it with like the camera gameplay, all types of stuff. So I'm really excited for this. Blair Witch, that looked really good. So that definitely goes in one of my highlights, my list of highlights for this year. Cyberpunk, everybody's been really excited for this, and superstars like Keanu Reeves is in the game now. He's doing it big. We just finished watching Dragonball 3 Chapter 3. Now he's gonna be in the game. That's pretty dope. Or even the Wisps. Just an indie game this year that looks pretty cute. And I just finished the indie game today that I really like. And I think the indie games don't get that much love and attention, and because they're not like popular games, like AAA games, just like I say. But they're definitely worth the play. They showed so many indie games that look really good. You can't play them all. I know I can't play them all. But just games like Ori, for example, that I never played before, this one looks really good and well done. And it reminded me of some of the other Ori, the other indie games that I played from that were free for PlayStation Plus, like Formula 8, for example. That's what it really gave me the vibes for. So I'm putting that in my list. Psychonauts 2, for example. I'm playing that right now on the PlayStation 3. And I didn't even finish the game yet. I got to go back to that game. And seeing that they showed Psychonauts 2, I'm excited to even get into it, just to be able to play the newest game now. I'm glad to be playing that series, for example. Being an anime fan, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, that's coming out next year. Not coming out till 2020, but still, just seeing this game, another Dragon Ball Z game that we can play, because most people are still playing, I guess, Tenkaichi, whichever one that you like. I like the Budokai series the most. Budokai 1 through 3 are some of the best. My personal favorite Dragon Ball Z games. And seeing another one that's in the works is definitely a highlight for me. Being a Tales of fan for a JRPG, one of my favorite JRPGs, Tales of Arise, I gotta put that in my list. And I played a few of them. Tales of Grace's Elf is one of my all-time favorites for the series. I played Tales of Exilia, Tales of Abyss, and then so many others. Tales of Symphonia, the first and the second one. But it started different characters, and they don't connect. Each story is different. Everyone has a different protagonist. Every Tales game has a different protagonist, an antagonist, a plot, and you meet those different characters along the way and get to know them and party up with them, and then you can play with them on the battlefield. And the battle system is great too, so it makes it even worth to play. Just worth the playthrough and just worth the just checking out the brand new game. Borderlands 3, just had to put that there. And then just before I even continue my other list of games that were actually showcased, some games that was already announced before E3 started that I found out about. Yooka-Laylee 2, being a Banjo-Kazooie fan, I loved it. I loved the first game. I'm sure I would like a Banjo-Kazooie 3. I'm going to say that, 3E. They could have did that. But we got news for him, so I'm going to get to that later. Yooka-Laylee 2, I'm happy with this too, as well. Even though it didn't make the main stage, it wasn't announced just at E3 right away. These were announcements before, or leaked announcements before, with video trailers and stuff like that, and news out there way before this event even started. Yooka-Laylee 2, the Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom remastered, one of the best Spongebob games I ever played. I played that back on the GameCube. Now I'm glad that the game is coming back. It's coming right back and just scrolling through. Just all these different games. But the Destroy All Humans Remastered, another game that wasn't even showcased that some people are talking about. I never even played Destroyed All Humans, but that looks amazing. But those are just some of the games that I found out that were already announced way before E3 even started. I gotta put those in my list of my personal favorites for this year. Conan that plays like Castle Crashers, that's pretty cool that I got to see. Zombie Army Dead War 4. The next game I gotta pick, Watch Dogs Legion. I love the first Watch Dogs. I want to play the second one now. But this one looks way more different because you're not just playing with one character. You can play with anybody in the city of London. And you can just recruit these different characters and different people to join your the resistance and join your crew, and just just battle the resistance right away. It's just so different because it's a different take of just playing as one character. There's nothing wrong with that, but this one, it seemed like they just did a couple different twists with it to make it a little bit better, and it seems to play so much better than the other ones. But I don't know how the second game is. So I'm throwing in Watch Dogs Legion, a new IP called Gods and Monsters that looked amazing. It looked like Zelda, and I thought it was like almost mixed with Zelda and Kid Icarus from Nintendo. But I'm definitely excited for this. This is another 2020 announcement. Gods and monsters, and I definitely hope that they show a little bit of some gameplay with that. We're probably not gonna get all that. We're not gonna see all that, even though it's another day of gameplay and trailers that we'll be able to see. For the Square Enix, for example, Square Enix conference, a lot of hype for Final Fantasy VII Remake. You guys gotta check that out. That looks amazingly beautiful from the ground up. All the characters, Cloud, Tifa, Aeris, Barrett, and then I already seen that some kind of image of Red 13. But he didn't, even though we didn't get to see him, we also got to see Sephiroth. All those different characters from Final Fantasy VII just remastered. We got a taste of the gameplay. That's definitely a highlight. That's gotta go in some of you guys' top 10s. And I know you guys are going wow from seeing that. Speaking of remakes, Final Fantasy VIII is getting remastered. Not even just Final Fantasy VII, but it's not getting the treatment from the graphical features from the ground up. It's just a remaster version of Final Fantasy VIII on that Star Squall, or aka Leon. I was excited for the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, so I had to throw that in there. But I want to see a little bit more. I'm hoping the story base, I'm hoping it's a little bit better than what we got to see, because they only showed a little bit in parts of it. The Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC that comes out in winter of this year. We're only going to be able to play as Riku and Aqua. How about giving Kyrie a spotlight? She has a Keyblade, or Lee, or basically Axel. Got it memorized. We could be able to play with them. I wish they would just get their spotlight. And then from playing the game, the full game from January from this year, they didn't even really get a spotlight. They just were showcased as new Keyblade wielders. But how about we get a chance to play with them hands on and experience it? There's nothing wrong with Riku and Aqua. I like those characters. Aqua's one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts 3 characters. But maybe some story DLC where we can go to a different world. And I was already talking about this. How about they just have us just be able to go to the Incredibles world, or maybe some other Disney Pixar movies like Cars or something like that. We can do something. See how they added Frozen, which was amazing, into the game. That was really good. One of my favorite worlds in the game itself. And then they did Monsters Inc. from Palace. We got Toy Story finally. Toy Story hype for that. And then just all these different worlds. Big Hero 6. They can just give us a couple different worlds. We don't need another difficulty. DLC should not be an intense difficulty, another more tougher difficulty that you'll be able to experience in the game. That's not DLC. That should be already accessible once you complete the game. Don't you think? Instead of just making it, well, we'll just bring out a different, like, Prowl Mode at a later date for DLC. That's not DLC. It should be like a whole new world with story-based DLC. I'm just hoping that they do a little bit more with this. So I can't really tell what this is going to really necessarily be like until they show more of it. But all I know is that we were going to be able to play as Riku and Aqua. I don't know, it's probably going to be a boss or two, but I don't know if there's going to be any new worlds that we can go to. That's something that they can do. But now they got their eyes, they got to get on Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I'm not surprised if they slow down DLC production for Kingdom Hearts 3. As great as the game was, and I enjoyed it. Outriders makes my list, and then the Marvel's Avengers game, that looked amazing. Playing as Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Captain America, and then also Black Widow that we'll be able to play. And then some other things about this that I really like. If you're on PlayStation like me, you're going to be able to get exclusive deals. Maybe we'll probably be able to get, I was talking to some of you guys about it, we might be able to play as Spider-Man, but it's supposed to take place in the same universe as him. Maybe we'll have a mission that we can do with him, and maybe some of his, some of the baddies and the villains will probably be able to fight. Some of them, they'll make an appearance in the Avengers DLC. Maybe we'll get some other benefits and stuff like that. But we don't have all the information about the benefits or what we're going to get and other bonuses besides exclusive content for PlayStation 4 users. So we'll just have to find out. This game is not coming out till what, next year? So, but that's still going to be good. I'm just really excited for this Avengers game, especially after you see an Endgame. You definitely want to play this, and just being a fan of these superheroes. So it's perfect. Now, Banjo-Kazooie, he got some news. He's going to be in Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. DLC. We got the Dragon Quest Heroes that look really good. That's coming up soon. But Banjo-Kazooie's not coming out till later in the year. Well, I think this fall, from what if I remember correctly. But it's pretty cool that he's in the game now. As good as he looks, I would love to have him and her Banjo-Kazooie have their own brand new third installment of a game But we got Yooka-Laylee too, so I'm cool with that. Even though he doesn't have his game, I got Yooka-Laylee too, so I got the best of both worlds. So I'll be able to play as him in Super Smash Bros. And then I'll be able to play Yooka-Laylee too, for both the good vibes. And then Dragon Quest Heroes DLC. But that's all our news for Super Smash Bros. There was no other characters announced, and some other people wanted Waluigi. I would have loved to have him in it. He needs to get his own game. If they're not going to put him in Super Smash Bros., let him get his own individual spotlight. Wario has a spotlight. Mario, Luigi, we got Luigi's Mansion 3 already. I got to put that in my list as well from the hype. But they got their own spotlight. We got Wario World. We got Wario Land from the GBA or Game Boy Advance games from the handheld series and stuff like that. And I really liked Wario World on the GameCube. If you guys have ever played that, that's one of the best Wario games. I think that's better than Wario Land. Because I like that even more, because I was only on GameCube. But it would be cool to have Waluigi and just get his own spotlight from once. But just like I said, Luigi's Mansion 3, we're just talking about Nintendo stuff now. Luigi's Mansion 3, I'm excited for that. That's supposed to come out this year. Sometime this year, but that doesn't really have a date. And they're still showing gameplay of that. And it has multiplayer, a different feature like Gooigi, a different little form that you can spawn in the gameplay. From what I've seen, it looks very unique. And then the different abilities that you can get outside of elemental abilities like they had in the first game that I really enjoyed still, but you can do different techniques, slamming the ghosts around and all that. That's pretty cool. Link's Awakening, for example, the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Some people are not really excited about Breath of the Wild. I didn't even play the first game, but I don't. Some people are still going to be excited for Breath of the Wild too. And it's been years for this game, for example. No More Heroes 3. But Link's Awakening looks really good, by the way. I never even got a chance to play that, so that's going to be really awesome. No More Heroes 3. I think this was one of the best surprises that caught people off guard. If you ever played No More Heroes or heard of it before, Travis Touchdown is making a return. That's in 2020. See what I'm talking about? With all these different games that's coming out next year, it's just going to be packed. But I think this was one of my favorites also, so I'm putting it in my list, No More Heroes 3. And then, being a Pokemon fan, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Of course I got to throw that in there. So I already know, and y'all can't be surprised. I love Pokemon. But a lot of people are spamming I was talking about this earlier. A lot of people are spamming the national deaths, but I don't think they can do that. You can't have every single Pokemon because this is a new generation. But I don't have a problem whether or not it's in the game or not, because I'm not capturing the original Pokemon. Maybe I'll catch them, but I'm not going to include them in my party as I go through the journey, because I want to catch the newer Pokemon. I'm ready for new faces. This is Generation 8. Don't you want to catch some new Pokemon to really get their evolution and just test them out? See what they can do in the battles and see if you want to take them all the way to the Pokemon League as you battle the gym leaders and go through the story. But I would like to just see, the only thing that was missing from this as far as Pokemon Sword and Shield news, I would like to see some of the evolutions of the starters. They didn't show that, but they showed some of the Pokemon battles of the gameplay in Nintendo Treehouse. They're still playing different, coming out with different gameplay videos and all, and different features. So I think this is going to be a really good Pokemon game, with or without the national deaths. It's going to be one of the best ones. So it's only exclusive on the Nintendo Switch. So being a Switch owner, I'm kind of glad that for most of these games that they showcased during Nintendo's press conference, I already got a Switch, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I can just choose what I want to get in order. So some other games that I like that they showed, Daemon X Machina that they showcased, is gameplay about that, gameplay out that. Some of these games look really well done. Astro Chain, and then another classic, a memorable classic, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, but this is a Switch exclusive that's coming out soon. I'm tempted to get that. I don't even know if I want to wait to get it or not, but I love Marvel Ultimate Alliance. The first game was the best one, in my opinion. The first was better than the second one, but this one was very well done. Just checking out the gameplay, and it's all different heroes that you could play as from the different universes, from the Marvel universe. And they got 2 different Spider-Mans. Miles is in it, so he's his own little character. And then they got the separate Spider-Man, for example. Just different characters that you can select from. And they showcase some boss fights with Juggernaut, and then some other ones too. So it's just games like this, and just games that you remember from back then, like alongside of No More Heroes that you remember. It's cool to see these games come back and make a comeback on these systems. So it's pretty cool. And just games like Animal Crossing, for example. It's a game that you can get into that you probably haven't really played. Animal Crossing Horizon, this looked really amazing. Another 2020 game that's coming out. But it was supposed to come out this year, but they delayed it. just to make it better. But I never really played much of Animal Crossing. I was playing a little bit of the Animal Crossing from the mobile. Now I want to kind of get back into that. But last but not least, I put Breath of the Wild 2 as my last highlight for all these different games that we have. But that's on my list. That's on my favorites. And just to share, I was just wanting to talk about certain things. But I don't know if you guys like my list or not. But everyone has different lists. Everyone plays different games and different preferences. See, like games like Fallout 76, I don't have a reason to come back to that. And even though they're trying to improve it, they come out with a battle royale. I think that's unnecessary. Now y'all just trying to just do the battle royale thing because everybody else is doing it now. It's too many battle royale games, and that's what I'm saying. And just what I get is just like there's more single player games that everyone can get into. It's a different series of games. That's why I love E3, because there's new games you can get into. There's new games that people can try for the first time instead of playing the same thing over and over and wonder why you're bored because you don't want to try anything different. It's worth to try different games. That's going to be like, that might not be as appealing, but you want to just take a look at these games. You have gameplay videos out there, and they're still showcasing even more today that I'm going to check out to really decide if you really want to get the game, if you want to make that, go the extra mile to even try to buy the game for yourself and try it. And it's so many good single players out there, and even missing games like Metroid, even though it wasn't here, it wasn't at the conference, it wasn't showcased, we don't have any information about it, we know that it exists. At least that's all I can really say. That's the only positive I can say. We know this is coming out sooner or later. It's probably going to be a 2020 release, maybe at some point, just a guess. It's no way it's coming out this year. Even though it's not showcased, we still have some news. We know that it's in existence. And then some other things that was missing, Sony wasn't even there, and I think most people probably wanted to see Sony's conference, but there's so many other things that you get in. It's still games out there. Maybe it might not be as many games that I listed compared to you guys out there that from what you guys watched. At least there's games out there that you can get into that you could probably get excited. Maybe like at least 1 to 3 games, or maybe something. At least one game that you're gonna probably want to be excited for. So you can't. I don't think it's gonna be anyone out there that's gonna say I didn't like anything that was shown from this year's E3 2019. I'm not even really interested. You might be interested in the console for Project Scarlet. That might be your highlight. Halo Infinite and all that. But we don't. They didn't show an unveiling for that, so we don't know how is it gonna play. We just know a couple features about it. It's just not that. Just not much info that was given for it. But you might be excited for that. That might be your highlight, your only highlight. But it's different for everyone because everyone plays different games. But for me, I like the variety. That's why I have this huge list of games that I play and games that I try. And then these indie games, for example, there's so many out there to pick and choose and select from. And then we got a couple mobile games too. Commander King. I see a lot of people talking about how they destroyed his image or something like that. I didn't even play the game. Another highlight I almost forgot to mention is the Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I registered for the beta, so trying to get into that. That looks really well done. It's so many other games that I could be missing from the list. Ghostwire Tokyo, that looks amazing. That's another new IP that looks very well done. I gotta put that in my highlight. See, and just all these games that's coming to my head from all these different news and announcements, it's too much to really keep up with because it's so many different games. But that's it. It was still a good E3 2019. I enjoyed it. Even with whether Sony was there or not, it was still some good games. And just games that was announced way prior, before the E3 2019 even started. So let me know what you guys' favorite games are. Maybe you might have a similar list. Yours might be different. Maybe you hated E3. That's completely fine. So you guys can let me know in the comments or whatever you guys thought. But for me, I'm excited for all these different games. Being a Switch owner and then all these different titles that's coming out into 2020, you might not even want to buy it. Just lastly, you might not even want to buy anything else for this rest of the year. You might just buy one little game coming out. You might get Borderlands 3 and never get anything else this year. And then just wait till 2020 and go from there. It's just going to be a lot of different games coming out within the next year. And I think that's what we got the most this year.